Yeah, there's there's that silence uh, that seems to be here underneath what seems to be everything. And that silence is always there. It is unchanging. It doesn't come and go. It's not there because there is no noise. It's there even in the midst of noise going on, talking happening, confusion happening, looking happening. In the midst of any activity, this silence is always there. It's not there only during the night when everybody is asleep. It's even there even during the day when everybody's busy going up and down. And somehow it is always overlooked, you know, because what seems to be the mind may seem to say, no, I'm looking for the next action. I'm looking for something interesting to happen. It's always after stories, story after story, story after story. But in the midst of that, this silence is unchanging. It's always there. It's not disturbed by any activity. And this silence is your own self. It's what you really are, not the story, not the idea or what you take yourself to be. You are not the story of your life. There isn't a you who was born one day. There's just this silence, which may appear as somebody in the story, as the story itself that seems to be going somewhere, but this silence is not going anywhere. It's not doing anything. It's not waiting for anything to happen. It's not trying to get somewhere. It's not looking for the next uh, excitement or exciting experience to have. It's just there. It's what you really are. It's not apart from you. It is you and you are it already. With or without the mind chatter or chatter, the silence is there, unmoving, unchanging, undisturbed. It's just a matter of noticing. It's just a matter of allowing that space in the heart, or bringing back the attention from the activity to that heart space, and then it is seen that there's just silence, and this silence becomes louder than the activity itself. And at times when the attention is focused on the activity, it seems as if the activity is louder than silence, and silence is overlooked somehow. But when the attention is brought back to that heart space, then it is seen that it is silence that is always louder than the noise itself, than the activity, the movement. It is even noticed that even the activity arises from silence as silence, not as anything different or anything separate from it. So it is here already. There is nobody who's separate from it. There's nothing separate from it. Everything is already it. So there's no journey. There are no steps to take. You never leave as silence. You never do anything. You never go anywhere. It is only the attention that it may seem to move, but you, as that silent, you never move. And this silence is not a man or a woman. It doesn't have any center. It is already here as nothing. It can never be known. It can never really be pointed to because it's all there is. There's nothing outside of it already to know it or become it. There can only be an imagination appearing in it that seems to say, oh, I'm not yet there. I need to do something to reach it. I need to meditate. Maybe this will take some few days, but I will get there one day. There's just an imagination appearing in it. There's just silence dreaming to be something other than silence. It is here already. Everything appears in it as it. It is your resting place, but that resting place, there's nobody there who rests. It's just silence itself, recognizing that it has never been anything else. It has never been a human being or a person, just place being itself. That recognition or that notice may be seen as resting. And this can't be done. There's nobody already outside of it to do it. What you really are can never be reached. It's all there is. It's everything already. How can everything reach everything? But that's not to say that if it appears that there's a dream happening, uh, it's at times it may be done. There may be a meditation happening, which is not being done by anybody, but it's just happening. Even though when it seems it's being done by somebody, that's not an evidence that there's a real somebody there. It's just what happens. It's not personal already. Everything simply happens. There's no doer of everything. There's no doer already. Even the listening that is happening right now, or the resonance that may seem to be happening right now, there's nobody who's resonating with anything. There's just resonance happening, listening happening, talking happening, expectation happening. If joy, peace is felt, it's just joy, peace arising and being felt by nobody. Because the I itself, the I is just a thought. The I who seems to be a doer of things is just a thought. So from where you seem to be looking from, there is nobody there. This can only be an imagination or a thought construct that seem to say, I'm looking. This is me. Me. This is me as what? Exactly. That question may seem to arise. There is already that looking from that empty space, which there is nobody there who's looking. There's just looking. That which seems to be looking right now is not a man. It's not a woman. It may seem to be a man, to be a man or a woman when there are thoughts appearing in it. Thoughts of the past, the memory that is never even there. But the looking itself has nobody in it already. And it has no location. It has no center. It is everywhere. There's nothing. when the attention seems to be with the thought activity or the activity itself, there may be so much questions that may seem to arise. But when the attention is brought back to that heart space, it is seen that questions, there are no questions there. There is just simply unconditional love. The labeling or the labels may seem to disappear as well. Everything is just seen as it is from that heart space. There are no worries there. There is no sense of lack there. There's nothing there. There's just pure love, unconditional love. It is even noticed that even the questions that seem to arise or thoughts, they just come from that heart space. Everything appears and disappears. Nothing lasts forever. When everything is seen from that heart space, the unity of all things is seen as well. There is so much unconditional love for all the beings, regardless of how they behave or how they take themselves, how they treat themselves. It is also seen that even the mind does not exist. So you are it already. There's nobody. Yeah. That's what seems to be coming up.
Beautiful. I'm very tired. Usually we have more of a conversation, but I'm very tired. I'm just having it's nice to just listen to you.
Always welcome.
You must be more tired than I am since you just spoke up.
Yeah, just a little bit, not that much. I may say the body may feel that may feel tired, but what I am is not tired at all. Never gets tired.
So, since COVID, everyone has have all these Zoom calls and stuff. And work is often, just one call after another where I have to be on. And, I've had several today, just intense sessions of just answering questions and doing things. Um, so the pace of work has become really intense. So at the end of the day, sometimes I don't, it's just, but it's good. There's no resistance. Your words just wash right over me. It's like you start to speak, and then sometimes a thought comes up, and then your next phrase just knocks it right out, and it's just like waves on a beach.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, I mean the silence. It's starting to feel the silence and starting to feel absence of presence. For a long time I was studying tantric stuff, which was just like various Hindu yoga exercises, I guess, but not actual like exercise, body exercise, but just mental exercises. Like there's ones, um, imagine your body expanding infinitely, or imagine yourself going through the core of the earth, or um, kind of like astral projection, but not actual projection. Just feel the eminence of your body, or feel energy circulating in your body, make energy circulate in your body between hands and stuff. So
Yeah.
I got kind of good at that. Um, and there's been a connection, I think, in the last couple of weeks, with the exercises of focusing on the silence and looking inward at nothing. I can direct the energy. It's like that tool that I developed. I now know what it's good for. The tool
Yeah.
I've developed of being able to control the energy now goes right through the illusory body. It's like I no longer trapped here. um, in a sense. As soon as I notice, say, you just have to pay attention. But that happens a lot, and sometimes just very, very distinctly. Lying in bed at night, sometimes glowing but not feeling trapped in the body.
Yeah.
And that is that process, that feeling is the same as the merging with silence.
Yeah.
You give me two exercises, one after the other. First concentrating on the silence, and then to concentrate inward. It's been beautiful.
Oh, nice. Nice. Have you ever tried to go outside on the grass or on the ground barefooted?
Yeah, I mean, when I meditate, most of the time I try to be barefoot in the forest. Yeah.
Nice.
Feeling the energy from the
Nice.
ground and the earth. It's really charged out here. You know, it's not hard to commute with those trees. You know, the silence is very loud.
Nice.
Lucky to have
Nice.
that. Yeah.
So do you feel the energy uh, going through the body from 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 the from the ether to the body and to the ground? It connects to the Mother Earth. It's
Yes,
beautiful.
and I can breathe the earth, you know, breathe the energy of the earth through my feet. One of the exercises is to breathe through every pore, breathe energy through every pore in your body, you know. So I used to do these exercises at night, every night. Um, and now I can do that. So going out there and that, you know, I think, in one aspect it's can be magic,
Yeah.
but it's not so interesting from a magical perspective. You know, it's more interesting as a tool to realize the dissolved self or something, to dissolve the notion of self, I guess, you know. So I've been meditating in that corner over there, but we got a lot of nut trees over there, and the squirrels have been going absolutely crazy. So they charge me sometimes. So now I went over to this corner over here where there's poison ivy and chickens and dogs. Neighbors have chickens and dogs. And the dogs sometimes bark at me, and I can just, meditate through the dog barking. But the character of the trees and the two spots and the two corners are completely different, you know.
Mm.
And it's not something I think about, just like noticing, like alarmingly different. They're different kinds of trees, but I don't think that's it. It's just, like everything has got character. Trees have got different characters, and their energy is different characters. It's just
Yeah.
but it's still the same silence. Yeah.
Yes. It's always there. Even in a very uncomfortable environment, when they are maybe, for example, as you have said, there are squirrels
Yeah.
charging at you, going around making so much noise. When that silence is noticed, is felt from that heart space, then it may be seen to be bigger than what's happening. Even the squirrels may seem to be making noise very far away, you know, whereas they are around, they're just here. Even when the dog is barking, it made me seem like it's barking maybe 2,000 miles away. It's not even there.
Yeah. Yeah. Eventually it just, sit very still and feel the dog's vocal energy just pass through me and wash over me as if I'm invisible. And then the dog just gets bored and leaves.
Yeah. when there is that resistance, like for instance, a dog that seems to say the dog should not be barking here, the squirrels should not be charging at me. There's so much noise here. Then when that thought is believed in, they may seem to be a very uncomfortable situation going on there. But when that is overlooked, when it's accepted to be as it is without judgment, then it may seem to be very far away, happening very far away, as if there's a glass dome covering where you are, and everything is beyond the glass.
Squirrels will actually drop nuts on my head. To get way up in the trees and they drop nuts on my head. They're like little monkeys. They get sorry.
You're under attack then. Wow.
Yeah, it seems like the squirrels are more likely to charge me when my mind wanders. Sometimes it just feels like, it's like a little nudge, you know, some sort of universal nudge, like perhaps all activity. Or, you know,
Yeah, there's so much space, man, to allow things to be as they are without any judgment. Without even paying attention on what's happening. There's so much space there. Just feeling everything that is around from that heart space and noticing. Just feel and notice. That's enough. There's nothing, there's no so much thing to be done. Yeah. Just feel and notice. Feel from that heart space and just notice. Feel. There's really nothing to be done there.
it's a good assignment for the week.
Yes.
Feel and notice.
Yeah. And what seems to be labels, they don't seem to come up at times. They may not seem to be coming up when there's that feeling and noticing happening. Yeah, everything is beautiful because everything is an expression of this.
So I went to New York last week. It was Melissa's big I survived cancer concert and getaway. We went to fancy vegetarian restaurants, and I had some connections that uh business connections, and we ended up going out on a boat on Hudson and going all the way around the island of New York, or the peninsula of New York, and going under the bridges and under the Statue of Liberty, out in the water, like starting in the evening and then going until when it was dark, and there's all this gorgeous famous skyscrapers and great company, and just really, really, really beautiful. And then we went to go to a concert, went to wonderful place to eat, and it seems like there's just the tapestry of life is like a trampoline or something. It just, if you have this, like, ups, there's got to be downs. There's no way around it. So in the midst of all these wonderful times, there was just like these like hell subway rides and people who are just really crazy and getting lost and not figuring out, not knowing how to get home, and a hurricane and all these other little things.
Yeah.
And to sort of hang on to the stillness throughout that polarity, and ride that, and not own the good times and not disparage the bad times, and just watch. Is what I did, I guess.
Or more like remaining as neutral.
Yeah.
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 It's beautiful.
But I mean, just the whole city of New York is like heaven and hell, right? It's just this just amazing. I mean, it's the most intense city in America by far, right? The most intense city in the most intense country of just stuff. I mean, I guess there's Tokyo and stuff, but same thing. It's just all these things just up and down and everywhere, and so many dimensions of craziness. And it's like, we were just going off to eat, and we were walking through a really bad neighborhood, and then all of a sudden there was this festival in Little Italy, this famous Italian neighborhood, where there was 7 blocks of amazing restaurant, of amazing, like I don't know, stands where people selling food on the streets and people dining on the sidewalks, and just the streets. They closed down the streets, and there was just people just walking each direction, just shoulder to shoulder, smiling and having a wonderful time. Completely unexpected. We just walked by. Hey, what's that? And just and just the spectacle of human life and love, and people from all over, all walks of life, all having so much fun, and bands playing, dancing, kids, Ferris wheels, just out of nothing.
Yeah.
It's really wonderful.
Wow.
Yeah.
you never arrived in the I heard that within New York there is a China City or China area. I don't know.
Chinatown, yeah.
Chinatown, yeah.
So we weren't we stayed very close to Chinatown. So walked through it a couple times, yeah. So all of a sudden there was, so Chinese folks that are like my age or around my age or, about as tall, tend to be as tall as, I am. It's just a diet thing, But then all of a sudden, in Chinatown, there's all these like really old Chinese people and they're really shrunken and they're all carrying these bags and they've got like, stands of fruits and vegetables and they're eating strange things like there's things like durian, like fruits that taste really terrible or like bizarre, like fruits that look like sea animals and stuff. And yeah.
Yeah.
And there's all these old ladies and one of the big industries there in Chinatown in New York is selling fake fashionable merchandise. So, do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah. Fake.
Yeah. So there's like brands like Gucci and Louis Vuitton that, charge hundreds or even thousands of dollars for purses and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just made out of, leather and cloth and metal, right? I mean, it's not that hard to make that stuff. So, and there's like African trade too, somehow, I don't know. So they make fake purses and they sell them on the streets. And then every once in a while, the cops will come and then like grab all their merchandise. And then they're like, you stole all my stuff.
Oh, wow. Actually, it's the same here.
Is it really? Yeah.
Yeah, we've got people from Central Africa usually come to South Africa just to bring all those fake stuff, fake Gucci's, fake Fubu, fake Nike, and
yeah. So there was definitely Africans. I bought a fake bag from an African guy, because it's a really nice bag, but I don't really care that it says Gucci on it. As my son said, the only thing wrong with this bag is it says Gucci on it.
Yeah, we do have such things. Yeah, even when the police they come, like the city police, they run away, collect their things, run away with the tables. Yeah.
They had them all set out in these suitcases, right? So when they see the cops, they can just close the suitcase, and then I think it's probably illegal for the cops to open up their suitcases, right? Because it's now searching their possessions or whatever. But we managed to come in the middle of a bust, and it was probably, I don't know, 20 African guys, yelling at about 10 cops and cop cars, and they're just taking away their luggage, essentially full of other merchandise. So
yeah,
it's funny. Yeah,
very funny. Wow, so much.
I found these glasses I liked that kind of wrapped around my head, but Melissa wouldn't let me buy them because she said it looked ugly. I put them on and the African guy was like, "Those look great on you." And Melissa was like, "What? They look so ugly." And I was like, "That's so mean. You're gonna tell this guy?"
Right in front of him.
Right in front of him, right. He didn't seem fazed. I think he knew they looked ugly anyway, but
oh wow. Yeah.
Anyway, it's very fun city. The bookstores, oh my God, wonderful bookstores. It's filled with used books. So many used books,
Yeah.
records. Find strange artifacts from. You just find a book that's like 80 years old, just sitting there on the shelf. You know.
Wow.
But I felt so as neat as it was so happy to be back in North Carolina. It's
Yeah.
dark at night, and it's made me want to get back in the forest.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. There's a huge difference for sure when you come back, when you've been to New York in that activity, when you come back to North Carolina, so much,
yeah,
so much space, so
yeah,
much silence.
yeah. I mean, so like the road from my office to my home is I don't know, 5 miles. So what's that? 7 kilometers or something. Um, 7, 8. And there's probably 200 houses, maybe less, between 200 buildings. If you took like 5 miles in New York and one thing and went 5 miles in the other direction and counted how many buildings and people there were, it would be probably 1,000 times that.
Wow.
It's just so many people, so many people. And up, right? The hotel that we were staying at had a hotel bar, and you can just see all the beautiful old buildings and stuff. And the history of the city is amazing. Anybody forever. Oh, you need to go, huh?
I don't know. Okay, you can continue. Just yeah, a few
Yeah, I mean, all
minutes.
the
Yeah.
immigrants that came, not all of them, but most of the immigrants that come through the East Coast go through New York. So there's been a history of communities setting up and doing work, sometimes under really, not very pleasant conditions. And then, they kind of swoop on out to the rest of America through New York. Right. And so like Little Italy for the last 100 years or whatever has had like communities of people coming from Italy and really doing authentic Italian cooking and crime and everything else. So just the history of the community is really intense, and it's become more gentrified in that it's more expensive to live there. Like Amelia's trying to go live there. She's going to be leaving on Sunday, but it's a lot of those areas that used to be really rough are now really nice. But at the same time, like right now, there's hundreds of thousands of people that are pouring into the city from South America and Central America, specifically areas where you just can't live. Right? There's just life is so terrible that people can't make any money, so they do anything they can, and they get to America and they land in New York today. Right? There's a huge problem in the past just several months specifically of these people arriving, trying to figure out what to do. All this money's being allocated, and finding buildings to house them, and then they're going to be adopted into the community. And so it's just this amazing just turmoil of culture. People just going in and wanting to make it rich, or art scene and fashion and making clothing and trying to survive. It's all very
So,
intense.
so much diversity.
Yeah, really.
Wow.
Lots of diversity. Okay. Tell your auntie I'm sorry to keep you late.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
Okay. Talk
Yeah.
to you next Tuesday.
Okay, thanks. You're welcome.
Bye.
Okay, bye.